And it's the centre versus states over fuel prices, stung by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's put down on live telecast yesterday over states not cutting taxes to bring down petrol and diesel prices. The opposition chief ministers are now pushing back using sharp words in an escalating row with the centre. Many pointing to the dues owed to states by the centre that haven't been paid yet and how after the GST system, states are unable to get their fair share. Well, let's take you through what each of the CM said.
सवाल इस बात का है कि आप रेट बढ़ाएं और राज्यों को कम करने की कहें, ये बात तो समझ नहीं आती। और यदि कम करना है तो सेस जो लगाए हैं, 2 साल से सेस लगा हुआ है, 4% सेस ले रहे हैं, वो राज्यों को मिलता नहीं, उसका हिस्सा नहीं मिलता। 42% एक्साइज ड्यूटी का राज्यों को देते हैं, ये प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा, लेकिन आंकड़े बताते हैं कि कभी आपने एक्साइज ड्यूटी जो 42% राज्यों को देना है वो पूरा नहीं दिया।
And Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao has said the Prime Minister should feel ashamed asking states to cut taxes, asserting there had been no hike in fuel tax since 2015 in Telangana at least. And he says, why can't the centre cut taxes instead of asking states? No hike in fuel tax since 2015. The centre not only enhanced taxes, also collects cess. If you have the guts, explain enhanced taxes, a conspiracy to weaken states, keep centre strong. The Prime Minister should explain why cess has been added. So this is an issue raised by Tamil Nadu as well, the issue of cess imposed by the centre. The Tamil Nadu Finance Minister has said that remove levy of cess and surcharge and merge with basic tax so states get their rightful share. With GST, states have lost power to levy taxes. States face a double whammy due to COVID. Tamil Nadu had cut 3 rupees VAT on petrol at an annual loss of 1160 crore even before cuts made by the centre. Revenue to union government has increased manifold, but no matching revenue increase to states. The centre has increased the cess and surcharge, but has reduced basic excise duty shareable with states. So Tamil Nadu there hitting out over this issue as well. Meanwhile, the Trinamool Congress has gone forward and asked for its dues to be paid. It is our promise, they wrote, that if the central government clears our dues, government of West Bengal will exempt all taxes from petrol and diesel for the next 5 years. 97,807.91 crore is due. And they say, Modi ji, let's see if you can deliver. Maharashtra also hitting out. Uddhav Thackeray tweeted out a breakup of the central and state taxes on fuel, and he said to say the price of petrol and diesel are inflated in Maharashtra due to the taxes levied by the state government is misinformation. He also spoke about stepmotherly treatment being given to Maharashtra. Congress leader and the former finance minister of the country, P. Chidambaram, also tweeted on the day that the Prime Minister exhorted states to cut VAT rate on petrol and diesel. The Ministry of Finance announced that the centre owes 78,704 crore to states. Now, the amount owed is actually more. If you add the amounts that the states claim they are owed to them, the total amount may be bigger. Only the controller of government accounts can clarify and can certify the correct amount. It will be interesting to know why the Ministry of Finance embarrassed the Prime Minister on the day that he chose to admonish the states. Now, Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has defended the Prime Minister's stance, saying that petrol will be cheaper if opposition ruled states cut taxes on fuel instead of imported liquor. They're taking a jibe at Maharashtra. He goes on to say Maharashtra government imposed 32.15 rupees per litre on petrol, and Congress ruled Rajasthan 29.10. But BJP ruled Uttarakhand levies only 14.51, UP 16.50. Protests cannot challenge the facts. Earlier we spoke to Himanshu for more details.
The centre's argument is, in this case, that on 4th November 2021, when centre had reduced the excise duty on petrol and diesel, there was an appeal to the state governments to make reduction in their sales tax and VAT in their respective states. But these 7 states, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Jharkhand and Tamil Nadu, these are 7 states mentioned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the PMCM meeting. These states did not make the corresponding reduction in the VAT or sales tax in their respective states. And the question that centre is raising today is that since March 22nd, because of the rise in crude oil prices, the oil companies have increased the price of petrol and diesel by 10 rupees each. Now, considering that VAT and sales tax is imposed ad valorem, that essentially means that it is calculated in terms of percentage. So that when the base price of petrol or diesel goes up, the corresponding share of state governments also goes up. So the centre's argument is that the high price of petrol and diesel, the state governments are more beneficiary than the centre. But the state governments have reacted very strongly, and you have shown the reactions to viewers now. And it does seem to have actually sparked a national debate. States are saying that centre is supposed to share 42% of the excise duty that it collects from petrol and diesel. But Chhattisgarh CM has said publicly that we are not getting that 42% share. Now, these are very complex economic questions that have been raised by state governments. I think we should wait for centre to actually to respond. But this has, of course, sparked a big debate. I was just looking at the Petroleum Ministry data. It shows that in the first 9 months of the financial year 2021-2022, the centre collected around 2.62 lakh crore from excise duty that it imposes on petrol and diesel, while the state governments collectively collected around 1,89,000 crore from the VAT and sales tax that they impose on petrol and diesel. And if you just add up these two amounts, in just 9 months of 2021-2022, the centre and states have collected around 4,52,000 crores from common people by imposing taxes on petrol and diesel. This, of course, is very high. The crude oil price remains around $100 per barrel in the crude oil Indian basket price, and clearly the pressure is rising. And remember, this debate is happening when the inflation is rising. The rise in diesel, of course, has had a very bad impact on the inflation index, whether it is CPI or WPI, and they have gone beyond manageable levels. So unfortunately, this political debate is happening at a time when the inflation is rising, petrol and diesel prices remain at a high price, the crude oil Indian basket price remains above $100 per barrel. That was the rate yesterday. So clearly, there don't seem to be any way out. There is no, I don't see any space for any kind of relief to the Aam Aadmi out of this political debate. And it seems clear that out of the 7 states, at least 5 have already rejected Prime Minister's appeal to reduce VAT and sales tax. That's right.